Well, they were pretty good, weren't they?
Oh, fabulous.
They sure were. My name is Scott Murray, for those of you that might just be joining us. And David Hamilton, he has been along since the beginning, early this morning. He'll be back in just a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, his, shall we call you the brains behind the brain? The woman behind the man.
What does he call me? The youth that makes everything right.
She's a senior partner at the America's Future Series.
I work really hard.
She does work very hard. You don't see her a lot, but she's always working. And she and David make up an incredible team at the America's Future Series, senior partner. And I'm talking about Michelle. Yes, Michelle Pearson. And,
thanks, Scott.
No, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
No, thank you.
It's an honor to be next to you, sir.
Well, thank you much, but take it away, my friend.
Well, I have the honor of introducing Catalyst Campus.
All right, great.
All right, so Catalyst Campus for Technology and Innovation is a collaborative ecosystem where industry, small business, workforce training, entrepreneurs, startups, and venture capital intersect with the aerospace and defense industry to create a community, spark innovation, and stimulate business growth. Catalyst Campus facilitates innovation in unique ways through a dynamic and public-private partnership that we will hear about today. And I have been to their facilities in Colorado Springs. Absolutely brilliant. If you are in Colorado Springs, go visit them.
Really,
they're
amazing.
Impressive, huh? Oh yeah, what they're doing there is just
blown away.
Yeah, how they're helping companies with dual use, and yeah,
very nice.
I guess I'm getting off script. Sorry about that. All right, so I wanted to introduce the Honorable Sue Payton. She is the former Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Acquisition, former Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, and the Acting Director of Defense Research and Engineering. She also serves on the board of Catalyst Campus for Technology and Innovation and will be the facilitator of this panel. Thank you so much for participating and being part of us. Okay.
Hello, I'm Sue Payton, the moderator of our panel discussion on innovation at the Catalyst Campus, which is located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, the epicenter of U.S. military space operations. We're proud to be a part of the American Futures Pitch Day that brings together companies with innovative solutions to many of our nation's most serious threats, as these companies seek investment for capital necessary to improve their capabilities to ensure our nation's ability to deter and, if necessary, defeat our adversaries. Joining me today are some of the nation's leading champions in providing innovative solutions and risk reduction to the Department of the Air Force, U.S. Space Force, the Department of Commerce, U.S. Northern Command, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, and U.S. Space Command. Their mission is to provide space domain awareness, space traffic management, and cutting-edge capabilities needed to counter the ever-evolving and dangerous threats posed by near-peer adversaries, especially in the areas of air defense and the space and ground assets of the U.S. and our allies. Joining me today, our first panelist is Patrick Barrett. Patrick is the CEO of Catalyst Campus, leading a team with the vision to be the nation's leading collaboration and innovation ecosystem in private industry, academia, government, and with our allies, by serving as a trusted agnostic partner to accelerate solutions for the execution of our national defense strategy. So Patrick, my first question to you this morning is, how is the Catalyst Campus unique in its approach to innovation?
Thank you, Sue, for that question. First of all, the Catalyst Campus is proud to be part of the Defense Innovation Fabric. What makes us unique is the private-public partnership that we have formed. The Catalyst Campus was started by a local entrepreneur, Kevin O'Neill. Kevin started going to the Space Symposium and other conferences and symposiums around the country and realized that during these events, people would come together from academia, from small businesses, from large businesses. Great conversations would occur. And with that, the innovation was sparked. But as soon as those conferences ended, those conversations came to an end. And his vision was to form a place that these conversations could occur 365 days a year. So with that, Kevin looked for how he could give back to his hometown of Colorado Springs and form a place that was an agnostic environment, just like a symposium, where those conversations again could occur. And he wanted to also give back to his hometown of Colorado Springs. The Catalyst campus is located here in a former blighted area of downtown Colorado Springs. It's 200,000 square feet of space spanning 12 acres. It includes meeting space, collaboration space, lab environments, R&D environments, as well as workforce development. Our goal is to provide a pipeline from concept to delivery of capability into the hands of the warfighter in support of the national defense strategy. So wherever that technology may be, from research and development through incubation to acceleration to integration to operational capability, to provide that capability here within our environment to again deliver that capability. Our goal is to be in 6 to 10 locations over the next 5 years. We just opened our first location outside of Colorado Springs in Maryland, in the College Park, Maryland, in the Research Park campus. We've been very highly successful in terms of our economic impact. Dr. Tatiana Bailey just finished an economic impact study for us, and the Catalyst campus has created 1,193 jobs and over $89 million of additional labor income in the market. We're also a unique ecosystem in that we offer a software factory, we offer an accelerator program, we have a partnership with the United States Air Force Academy CyberWorks. We have customers here on campus from SMC, from NORAD Northcom. Colonel Ross Morrell will be talking a little bit about the N2X Pathfinder project, as well as the Dragon Army that Dr. Emily Bohner will be talking to you about in just a few minutes. And that's just to name a few of the programs that we have here. So with that, Sue, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. I really appreciate the background on the campus. I'm sitting here today in front of the brick and mortar behind me that was built in 1917. And the beauty of what Kevin O'Neill has done in this private-public partnership is he has absorbed the expense for the build out and for their entire building. And so the government doesn't have to pay that bill at Catalyst campus, doesn't have to pay annual leases. And that is the beauty of this public-private partnership that Catalyst campus is based on. And you had just mentioned Colonel Morrell from NORAD Northcom, and I'd like to introduce him as our next panelist. He is the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer and Director of N2X at U.S. Northern Command and the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD. These are two separate commands with a common purpose: to defend the homeland of U.S. and Canada. These commands are charged with the missions of aerospace warning and aerospace control of North America. Colonel Morrell represents the warfighter on the pointy end of the spear, totally responsible for aerospace warning that includes the detection, validation, and warning of attack against North America, whether it's by aircraft, missiles, space vehicles. And he does this, and the commands do this through the support and arrangements with other commands. So Colonel Morrell, can you give us some background on what you're doing and how Catalyst Campus is supporting your mission?
Yeah, absolutely, Sue. And again, thank you for that warm introduction. It's certainly a pleasure to be here today with all the panelists. So about 18 months ago, our commander at the time tasked us with rethinking about how we think about homeland defense. He really tasked us with making a technology leap forward. So the effort that we started was called Pathfinder. What Pathfinder is the data ecosystem that's really chartered to revolutionize our strategic approach to data while enabling mission outcomes at the speed of relevance. So the bottom line is that we were tasked with accelerating innovation velocity. And as you had stated, our commands, both NORAD and U.S. Northern Command, have missions in all domains. But when we started the effort, we really wanted to tackle and solve a problem, not try and solve every problem. So our first use case was with the air domain, specifically with our air defense sectors. Today, our air defenders, both American and Canadians, are placed in high-stress, time-critical decision-making processes for every air anomaly over the skies of North America. They're forced to utilize today a dozen or so independent, non-correlated systems that require an immense amount of manual processing to stitch together C2 decisions for our national security interests. We believe that part of our technological advantage is tied to the velocity at which we can transform the abundance of data that's coming off these sensing mechanisms and turn that into trusted, precise, and actionable insights. And that's what the Pathfinder effort does here at Catalyst Campus under the N2X umbrella. It solves that data capacity issue with our current C2 systems, but at the same time, it leverages commercial cloud technology, further builds upon with leveraging automation as well as machine learning. And these are capabilities that significantly reduce the amount of process friction we currently have today, which frees up trapped capacity, whether that be human capital, money, or time. And so our Pathfinder prototype is, as I stated, started with the air domain. However, the architecture that we are building is domain agnostic. It can scale globally and it can deploy anywhere. And we believe that this is foundational for all domain C2. And without it, we are at a significant disadvantage for information and decision superiority. So when we were tasked by our commander to take on this initiative, we knew that we would not be able to fully realize the innovative spirit, as well as the speed in which our commander had asked us to deliver this capability by working out of our headquarters building. Luckily, we were able to find Catalyst Campus, and in partnership with Air Force Research Labs, we are allowed to be part of this ecosystem. And what does Catalyst Campus really bring for us? I think there's two main things that I'd like to touch on. First, diversity of thought. I've been doing software development for a long time in the DoD, and we have a very specific way that we look at developing and delivering products. One of the huge benefits of the campus here is that diversity of thought, bringing together commercial, industry, as well as government and academia. And together, we are solving homeland defense problems in ways that we traditionally would never have thought of trying to solve these problems. And that is truly awesome. The second that I think is just part of the fabric of this place is this culture of innovation. It enables us to build those relationships with commercial industry and academia through things that I call our collisions. Because of the space that we work in, the openness that we work in, the collaboration that is here, we're able to have really good discussions with other organizations that are trying to solve complex national security problems. And with this, we're able to realize that others are working to solve certain pieces of problems that we're trying to solve. And so you come to the realization that you don't have to solve everything. A good example of this is our partnership with Platform One, which you'll hear about in a little bit. Platform One has delivered an enterprise CI/CD DevOps pipeline. And with that, we did not need to create our own. We were able to focus our entire effort on building out our data fabric and leverage the work that has already been done and the problem solving that's already been done to deliver mission apps to the warfighter. So with that, Sue, I just want to say thank you again very much for being part of this panel today, and I am extremely enthusiastic about the future of Catalyst Campus.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being on the panel. The most important factor here is getting this innovation and technology in your hands so you can solve those gnarly problems at the pointy end of the spear, as I mentioned. I'm so glad that you mentioned the Air Force Research Lab, because our next panelist is Dr. Emily Bohner. She's a system engineer at the Air Force Research Lab, and she is the Dragon Army Operations Program Manager, focused on a radical modernization of space command and control IT systems and a technology delivery pipeline that leverages DevSecOps and lean startup principles. And through her involvement with the Dragon Army Ops program, she is then able to support the Sprint Advanced Concepts Training, SACT, commercial cell, which is a triannual international space exercise that's totally loaded with experimentation, providing systems engineering, coordination, and a framework for integrated training across civil and military space operations, as well as providing the opportunity to prove the interoperability that's so critical between US government space organizations, allies, and our commercial data providers. So Dr. Bohner, welcome. And I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about what barriers you see for the startups and small businesses that you're engaged with. And they want to innovate for the DoD, but there are some huge barriers they face.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Payton. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor to have you here with us. From my perspective on the R&D side, especially working with a lot of new entrants to the DoD through programs like AFWorks and SBIRS and the accelerator programs, I have seen two major barriers. One is access to data, and two is user feedback. And then these are closely followed by a third, which is security and accreditation. These all three trace to establishing relevance in the DoD environment. New entrants are often blocked by access to real data. They need access to relevant operational settings for testing and validation, and especially user feedback. A lot of these startups don't have direct access to these customers the way that startups in the non-DoD world would with their customers in the commercial world. When developing software for use in the types of critical applications that the DoD needs, the verification and the validation process is key, both for verifying that the technology does what it's supposed to do. So that would be your verification. You need real data in order to do that. And determining the operational value or the utility to the users, which is our validation process. The questions that we're trying to answer with that is, does it improve performance? Does it improve user experience? And then feeding all of this back into the development cycles. So innovators in the DoD world don't often have access to these things. They don't have access to the real data, and they don't have access to the customers. In the non-DoD world, there's many ways that, that startups use to engage their users, often through cloud-based software as a service, offering free trials, even doing sophisticated A/B testing, feature toggles, and being able to measure user conversions through their software that's typically cloud-based. These are often absent and vastly different within the DoD. And so this is where my team comes in. The program we call Dragon Army Operations is under the umbrella of Space Camp, which is headquartered at Catalyst Campus. And we've been chartered as the Rapid Reaction Software Factory, serving the Space Force Delta units. Dragon Army Operations is all about breaking down these barriers, specifically data access and operational user feedback and operational validation. Taking what's traditionally a 2 to 5 year V&V process within the DoD, and we're trying to compress this down to weeks or months. So it's quite a feat actually to compress this schedule. We do that using lean startup principles and agile methodology and DevOps and DevSecOps. Catalyst Campus has been our hub for us to launch what we call a validation environment for rapid exercise execution, specifically focused, our program right now is specifically focused on space domain awareness, although we intend to expand this out into other mission areas. But this is the first one that we've tackled as a program. And we have a triannual, it's called Sprint Advanced Concepts Training, sponsored by the JTF-SD, and the Dragon Army Operations sponsors the commercial cell on behalf of AFRL. And then we have what we might call mini SACTs, which are biweekly ops days. And these are live events, live space events. Often we put simulated injects over our live data, And we run these tools real time. We use the Unified Data Library as our data backbone, which, by the way, also got its start at Catalyst. And we connect developers and innovators to that real data through the Unified Data Library and to operational users that are using their technology or products real time against these live space events. And this process gets feedback back into the development cycle, a lot like the non-DoD would be able to monitor their customers and get those user engagements. And this allows us to bring those together and get that engagement while things are still in development. So that we can tailor, we can pivot, we can change the development as needed to serve the users and to improve the performance of that software. We are literally sitting with our users down at Catalyst campus, especially pre-COVID, sitting right next to our users and our developers all in the same room and using this in live exercise. So our user engagements aren't about demoing or PowerPointing, but literally throwing these technology solutions right into the fray and trying them out in scenarios that look like what they would see in a real operational environment. We've been able to engage our users and flow that feedback right back into development like we've never had before. We have what we like to call with our participants and users a healthy coopetition, we call it. It's still competitive, but it's also immensely collaborative in that our innovators get to be a part of the working system in an operational setting. They're supplying data, and these participants are also using data and products from other vendors, and then they're supplying derivative products back, all together to respond to these emerging space scenarios in real time. No single vendor, this is one thing that we've noticed over the last several years, no single vendor can solve this entire problem. If they could, we would have solved it already. And so the group that we have of commercial, allied, and DoD participants have raised the bar together. And it's the whole tide raises all ships. And we've been able to raise the bar and beat it and raise the bar again through this process over the last about almost 2 years now. Was our first SACT together, was about 2 years ago now. The third challenge that I alluded to earlier is the accreditation process, and Colonel Morrell mentioned it too. We're working with Platform One at Catalyst to help these innovators get on a path for continuous accreditation. And this benefits both the development side because it allows the innovators to leverage this modern agile DevOps principles, and the DoD side where we can get new features and technology continuously into the hands of the users without taking a 3 to 6 month break to stop your innovation, to go get your software accredited and then accepted and back into operations. The benefit to Platform One and the CI/CD pipeline is it bakes security into that process. And so we can start to continuously deliver capability into the user's hands. So while we shuffle innovators over to Platform One, as soon as their technology solutions show some operational utility, they're also working with Dragon Army for that operational validation piece. And so this is less of a process of I want that and let's procure it to let's work together to continuously innovate, continuously build on, and continuously secure our products as we go. And I think Catalyst has been really an enabler to bringing all of that together. And I think this might be a good segue over to Tracey, because I think she is planning on talking more about Platform One. So thank you, Ms. Payton, for that.
Well, that is terrific. And I just love your enthusiasm. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so glad you brought up the Unified Data Library and BlueStack. They literally started at Catalyst campus with 3 people, a $30,000 contract. They could pay a monthly lease of $500 a month. They didn't have to invest in a year lease anywhere. They got to use the payroll folks here, the legal folks here, the contracting folks. And it has made a huge difference. They're like 60 people now, 3 years later, and $60 million in contracts. So they are a great story, but can be achieved by many other of our startups and small businesses. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm so glad you mentioned Platform One, because now I'm very happy to introduce Tracey Manor. She's the Catalyst Campus Program Director of Platform One, the official DevSecOps Enterprise Services team for the entire Department of Defense and its tech team. Platform One is the centralized team providing this DevSecOps software factory managed services with baked-in security to DoD programs. So Platform One manages the software factories for development teams so that they can focus on building their mission applications. So Tracey, can you further describe the barriers that startups and small businesses face and ways that Catalyst Campus is lowering the barriers for them?
Certainly. Well, thank you for allowing me to participate on this panel. It's really an honor to be with this group. It's a pretty solid crew you've assembled here today for sure. So some of the barriers that we face are pretty common across the board, which are contracting vehicles that we hit the ceiling on because the programs that we're working with grow organically and in amazing ways that were unanticipated and not prepared for in that arena. Supply chain is definitely a concern of mine as I'm securing hardware for new software factories. And then I would say a concern over collaboration and a fear of failure. And what I really mean by that is traditionally in the DoD, there's sort of an aversion towards risk or any sort of failure that we might come across. But what we've really learned is that failure is important to the learning process as well. And so what we really need to do is find ways to overcome that and to see our failures as a learning opportunity and something that can propel us towards a better solution that we hadn't thought of before. So one way that Catalyst is helping with some of these problems, it really all comes back to relationships and collaboration. And what I mean by that is getting people comfortable with collaborating. And we really bring a true breadth of experience and perspective. And that diversity of thought and experience really leads towards great solutions that traditional DoD systems and processes haven't been able to overcome problems because they've had these silos and have been sort of ingrained in the traditional processes and haven't been open to new ideas and opportunities and a new way of seeing things. So what we really do is we come in and sometimes we build a new physical space and get people comfortable with getting off base and into a totally new environment. Sometimes they're wearing hoodies instead of a uniform, and that breaks down some communication barriers. Sitting in a kitchen and just having a beer together opens up line of communications with people that maybe you wouldn't bump into normally, and organic conversations that really lead towards real solutions. There's some unintended consequences or benefits that come from opening up these spaces, which are real great collaborations amongst government, industry, and university partnerships. And this boosts morale. I think people get a spark of ideas and see some hope in solving problems that they didn't see hope in solving before. We take agile concepts and introduce that to the DoD and to their partners and help them use that to really disrupt and innovate in new ways that they hadn't thought of before. And again, the key is really relationships. And I think one way that we do that is by bringing in these new startups, by bringing in talent from universities, kids that never thought of working with the DoD, don't know how to get into the DoD, but we want to keep that talent and we want to use that talent and those new fresh ideas. And my teammate Kimar is definitely an expert in bringing small businesses in that have great ideas and concepts that know AI, that know technology in a way that the DoD doesn't know it traditionally. And she helps them figure out how to crack into that system.
Well, thank you, Tracey. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of your insight into Platform One, as well as the barriers that we seem to be lowering here at Catalyst Campus so that startups and small businesses can actually provide their innovation to us. Kimar Gartman is the Catalyst Campus Program Director for the Catalyst Accelerator, with the mission to introduce innovative dual-use technology to the Department of Defense in support of the U.S. warfighter, while really strengthening our nation's economy by investing in startups and small businesses. The Catalyst Accelerator connects participating companies with users and potential customers from the Department of Defense and the commercial sector in order to significantly reduce the customer discovery process for requirements that are so desperately needed to be defined. And that reduction in time can go from 2 years to as short as 3 months. So Kimar, can you talk to us about the small businesses and startups that may want to get involved here at Catalyst Campus and its programs? How would they go about doing that as well?
Well, thanks, Sue. I appreciate the introduction, and I thank the America's Future Series team, Dave and Michelle, for including us in this event today. We're excited at Catalyst Campus to welcome small businesses and to get you plugged into some of these amazing programs that you just heard about. I'm running the accelerator, so of course we'd love to have you involved in what we're doing as well. The accelerator, just for your information, is a 3-month program that brings in small businesses to solve tough problems that or challenges that DoD is facing. And so we get a problem statement and we invite companies in from across the nation and across the world to participate in our accelerator program. And our next one's going to be focused on orbit servicing, assembly, and manufacturing. So if you're interested, keep listening, because I'll tell you how you can get involved in any of these programs. First of all, probably our best way for you to get involved is to go to our website. So if you want to get on to catalystcampus.org, you can find a little bit of information about all of these programs. And then you can also hit a button called Join the Ecosystem. And when you hit that button, you'll be put onto our mailing list and you'll be able to get some notifications about events that are coming up. It's an exciting way to be involved in what we're doing. Of course, when you're in Colorado Springs, come on by the Catalyst campus and visit and see the place for yourself. We can give you a little walking tour. There's always events going on that are hosted by government or by some of these programs you just heard, or by the accelerator, and you're welcome to join some of those that are relevant for you and your company. And of course, there's some alumni that have put themselves on a waiting list that just want to have office space at Catalyst campus so they can rub shoulders with Colonel Morrell over there in the kitchen, or with Tracey while she's up in the lodge, Dr. Bohner in the SACT programs. We've had alumni involved in all of these programs. And in fact, I've got a company in the one of our alumni companies that's meeting right next door right now. So it's a great place to be a part of and to be part of the collaborative environment of what's going on here. So I invite you to join us and check out the website at catalystcampus.org. Thanks, Sue.
Well, thank you very much, Kimar. And today you've heard from 2 of our leading champions from the government on the programs they're working on, who really are finding great value in the Catalyst campus. And you've seen and heard from 3 additional folks who are Catalyst campus staff members who are championing innovation and connecting the ecosystem here to solve problems. So if you want to come and engage in cultural collisions and diverse collaboration and risk reduction on your programs, if you want to access that crucial data early in your development, if you want a path for the continuous accreditation and certification of your capabilities, if you want to shorten that timeline to achieve your solutions, do it in an agnostic environment with honest brokers, and just boost your morale by coming to the kegger and having a beer with us. We invite you to join us at Catalyst campus. And with that, I'd like to open it up for any questions that you might have. And again, thank the American Future Series for allowing us to be part of this panel discussion. Thank you.
Well, that was fantastic. I want to thank Sue. I want to thank the Honorable Sue Payton. I want to thank Kimar. The work that you guys do, institutionalizing and making systemic the connecting of people to create this ecosystem and providing rigor and structure and a place for people to connect is fantastic. And it's exactly what we need. And I love the point about, you know, between conversations, things die. They've figured out a way to keep people connected and engaged and productive. So if you don't know about the Catalyst Campus, please check them out and connect with them, whether you're looking to invest or whether you are a company with a fantastic solution. Love to bring Patrick on. Patrick, that was great. I'm going to turn it over to you. I want to thank you for the work that you guys do. Appreciate your support and being part of this program. And I'll turn it over to you guys to have another enlightening conversation.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for the introduction, and appreciate everybody's attendance today. It's great to see so many people on from all over the country. I know we just have about 5 minutes here. Didn't see any questions come through the chat other than the one that Emily has already answered. I did want to. I've got Colonel Ross Morrell is actually here in my office with me. Wanted to tee him up with a question. We just had, if you want to come over, come on over. So we just had the NORAD Northcom Commander, General Van Herk, out here at the campus in March. And I wanted to see if you could maybe give a quick update on some of the findings that he was able to bring before he testified before the Armed Services Committee on innovation.
Great, thanks, Patrick, for teeing me up for this one. Yeah, so the boss came down, like Patrick said, in March, and we gave him about a 2-hour run through of not just the Catalyst campus, but the work that the NORAD Northcom team is doing down here. And really, the big thing from the boss's perspective, General Van Herk's perspective, is bringing DoD or bringing innovation to the DoD. And really shortening the time that it takes to get ideas and concepts and put them into and deliver them as capabilities. So from his perspective, one of the big things as well is, as you probably have, if you haven't read the testimony or seen some of the press releases, it's really about prototyping new capabilities and tools and getting them out into the warfighter's hands as fast as possible, and shortening the time that it takes to take innovation and deliver it to the warfighter. So those are, I mean, that's probably one of the big things. And so places like Catalyst Campus here in Colorado Springs are great places where you can bring in many different organizations, whether they be government organizations, academia, or commercial. And quite frankly, what I like to say is there's lots of diversity of thought here and lots of great conversations and lots of capability development and delivery to the warfighter.
Yeah, and one other thing to add, which I thought was pretty amazing. So during the demo and during the briefing, Ross had put a small business on contract just a week prior to the general being out here. And within 24 hours of that company being on contract, they already delivered a minimal viable product. And that's something you traditionally don't see in defense contracting. So seeing the agility of some of the new contracting methodologies along with the go fast environment, it was pretty fantastic to see that. So, all right, well, thank you. So the next question I have is for Dr. Bohner. I was wondering if you could briefly describe what is your biggest success here at the campus. I mean, if you were to, from a Dragon Army perspective, if you were to put this somewhere else versus at the campus, if you were to just encapsulate, what is your biggest success been from being here?
There's a lot. I really do think that the SAC-T series, it's really interesting because right now we're running full remote operations globally. And so hate to say it, we don't need Catalyst Campus anymore, but I would say that I know, right? When we started, we would not have gotten to this point without Catalyst Campus. When we started, we had a group of about 6 different commercial companies gathered in our Ops Center back in 557, and that was our first SACT it would have been April of 2019. We had 3 in-person SACTs. So we did April, August, and December, and then COVID hit. But those 3 SACTs, we grew from, I think, about 6 participants to, I don't even know how many were in our 19-3 in December, but that room and our overflow room were packed. And so I would say we were probably up to about 30 different commercial companies at that time. Now we're up to about between 50 and 60 commercial companies that are participating with us. And so that 19.3, we had quadrupled from our first SACT, and we had all of that activity and all of that exchange that happened over those first few SACTs is what enabled us to then go remote when COVID hit. We actually have not gone back to a full in-person anymore because the full remote actually works very well, especially with a global team, but we never would have gotten there, I don't think, without that first year of SACTs at Catalyst.
All right, thanks, Dr. Bohner. And
by the way, I want to add, I have one quick go back. I want to add that type of event, logistically, we wouldn't have been able to do it on a military base. That just logistics and the mess that it would have created, it would have made it almost impossible to have an event like that. And so to be able to be off campus, off base, and in an area where commercial participants can come in and participate, that was a big factor.
All right, thank you. And that's one of the beauties of the ecosystem that we've established here. Although during some of this time of COVID, when a lot of the workforce has had to work remote, that ecosystem that was built here at the campus continues. And as people are starting to filter back, it's continuing and growing. So with that, I'd like to bring Kimar here over here as well. So Kimar, I know that there are some questions coming through around dual use technology business model. And I was going to have Kimar briefly describe the upcoming accelerator that's going to be kicking off here next week. So if you want to give a quick update on that.
Sure. Thanks, Patrick. We're excited about our new accelerator coming up, and we do deal with the dual use technology business model. That's one of the things that we focus on. We try to find companies that have a commercial focus, a very strong commercial focus with dual use technology. And then we just help them learn how to work with the government, which is an exciting part of the job. So our next accelerator will kick off on Tuesday. We're focused on on-orbit servicing, assembly, and manufacturing. So we're looking for lots of participation from subject matter experts. So please reach out to me if you're one of those. And we're also going to hold a Catalyst collision event right in the middle of this accelerator. So if you're a company that has some amazing space technology, then just reach out to me, go to our website, catalystaccelerator.space, and let us know that you want to be a part of that event. We're taking applications now. The Catalyst collision event is a pitch event where 24 companies are going to be able to pitch to government tech scouts, and then hold a technology gallery afterwards on the 4th day. It's going to be held June 22nd through 25th. So if you're interested, get your applications out there. We're excited to have you be part of what we're doing here at Catalyst Campus. Thanks, Patrick.
All right, thank you, Kimar. And just see if any other questions have come through from the audience. It doesn't look like it. So I'll give a question here to Tracey. What has been your biggest observation with software factories expanding across the U.S. and what do you see that are they all focusing on the same warfighter needs, or are they unique to each environment?
Well, I think they all think they're unique. And I think they do have some unique components, but they have a lot of components that are the same too. And they can leverage off of knowledge bases that other groups have. So I think that's sort of my superpower, which is connecting people and relationships and hoping to help them solve their problems by doing that. I was just on a call with the F-18 crew this morning, and they were facing some obstacles that they were looking for other groups to collaborate with. So that's a great thing about talking to all of these different groups, is you got to kind of get to see what problems they're trying to solve. And on the small company front, I was just on a call with the Aegis folks last night, and they were really extolling the virtues of involvement with smaller companies, because they're a little more agile. They can adapt to their needs more quickly. And when they pivot, they can pivot with them faster. Instead of throwing up like reasons they can't do it, they just find a way to make it happen. So I think those are some of the things that I've found across the board. So just really collaborating. And as you're going out, Patrick, and talking to more people, and then filling me in on sort of the conversations that you have, and then I'm hearing them from the platform one side of the house and from the space camp side too. Bit by bit, you start to see some things that are similar across the board that they could help each other out with and find a way to connect them.
Thanks for that, Tracey. And one other quick thing that I want to share. We've come up with a Spark 2 product model, and this is a unique capability delivery pipeline that we're building here at the campus, either through direct programming that we provide or through partnerships that we create. Our goal is to be able to stick with a technology all the way from the very thought of that technology and all the way through delivery of that capability into the hands of the end user, into the hands of the warfighter. We believe that's probably one of the biggest needs, and we've got several different new capabilities and that we're going to be rolling out here at the Catalyst campus over the coming months that'll help fill that need and fill that gap. So look forward to rolling that out, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak today.
Patrick, thank you so much. Thank you to you and to your entire team. You guys do amazing work. I'm glad people were able to learn a little bit more. There's a lot more for them to learn about you, and I will encourage everyone listening to reach out to Catalyst Campus and get involved with the ecosystem and the foundation that you guys have laid. You've done a great job, and I want to say thank you on behalf of all Americans and on behalf of our national security. I want to thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
You all have a great day.